Today's video is brought to you by RC all-wheel drive parts. Let's check them out. So RC all-wheel drive hit me up a few weeks ago and asked me if I would be interested in testing out some of their new Grom products. And like I tell anybody that asks me if I want to test their stuff out, I said, hey, if it's a junk part, I'm going to tell people it's a junk part. But I've got no problem testing out parts and bashing on them and playing with them, as long as you're okay with an honest review. And they were all for it. I have lost the ability for a couple companies because of that, because I didn't like the parts, and I said as much, and they just didn't want to be part of it. But these guys, anytime a company is willing to stand behind their products like that, yeah, go ahead. Tell them if you like it. Tell them if you don't. I am all for trying them out. So I told them what I had, and they did send me. These are actually for the Slash series, the Traxxas Slash series. So I told them I did have a Raptor Slash R, so they sent me these. So I'm not going to be doing these ones today, but I'll do these in a future video. But I did get their Grom shocks, the Grom, this is the Granite and the Typhon axle shafts, and a cooling fan, because I don't think the stock cooling fans are very good, so I would like to check that out, see if that does a little bit better. Nice thing is that fits in, they're supposed to fit inside of the factory little clamp housing that they have for the Groms. And try out their new servo. Unfortunately, I do see that it's a 21 tooth, and I only have a 25 and a 20 servo saver, so I guess I'll be trying that without a servo saver. Not the best for these little servos, but well, we'll see how it lasts. And then last but not least, I didn't even know these were coming, they just kind of threw them in the box, is these new little tires, and they feel really nice. They got a nice foam in them, and well, I don't know, I wasn't sure which of the cars I was going to put it on, but none of that stuff fits the NASCARs, and I'm waiting on the Fury Tech motor setup for that, so I guess it's going to be him. And this car, I just recently put some HR hot racing axle shafts in, so I guess I'll pull those out to give these RC all-wheel drive ones a try. And I also did steal the servo from my Mojave. This one's servo failed on me, and while I'm waiting on Mojave parts, I just went ahead and threw it in there. Good servo. I think it's an NDSC servo, so I'll pull this one out, throw that back into Mojave, which was always the plan anyway, and we'll go ahead and put all the rest of these parts inside of this guy and see how he does, which works out because this shock is leaking. It's actually, if you see, I got a slightly bigger bolt on it just because his shock end is cracked as well. And then one of these rear shocks, yeah, this one, he gets bound up every now and again, so it needed to be done anyway. I really do like these hot racing axle shafts, but these RC all-wheel drives look just as nice. And, well, I guess there's nothing more to do but to get to it. Woo! Oh, yeah, and also, I'm going to go ahead and put in this hot racing steering link, because after just over 200 runs I have on this car with lots of wrecks, the steering has gotten sloppy. So you can see the servo arm is not moving at all, and that wheel is moving a lot. It's a little bit tighter on this side, so yeah, we're gonna hopefully get rid of the slop. Never know, maybe RC all-wheel drive will be making these soon as well. This is going to be my first time trying out one of these, so hopefully that takes care of that slop. Let's see. So, for those of you not familiar with the Arrma Grom series, this is the Arrma Grom Typhon. And they make, the first one they made was the Granite, and then they made the Typhon, and then they made the Mojave, and then just recently they came out under the Losi banner for the Losi NASCARs, and they are all a lot of fun. I bought this the day they were available. Same thing with the Mojave, same thing with the NASCARs, and I absolutely adore these little RC cars. Yeah, they're not the fastest. They do about 22 out of the box, stock brushed, but they're so indestructible. I mean, you can break them, but you really got to try hard to break them. But they drive well, they handle well, they jump well, they take an absolute beating. And over 200 runs I have on this car. All I've ended up breaking was the servo, and it wasn't fully broken. It was getting sloppy, which now that I'm looking at how this front end is, I'm not sure it was the servo's fault. I think it might have just been the steering linkage here finally got worn out, because I've bounced this off of metal poles and concrete bricks and all kinds of stuff. So, yeah. Probably wore out the servo. Definitely wore out the front end stuff. I only put in these HR axles just to try them out, and they've been great, but I've only got maybe a dozen runs or so on them. And then I have broken this shock once and then replaced it, and then I broke it again, because this is the corner that I get the most impacts on, because me and my buddy like to oval race them a lot in the shop if I'm not out in the dirt. So that one takes a lot of beating. But other than that, I mean, the frame, the chassis is never broken. None of the control arms have ever snapped. The motor has been great. I see I didn't dry it out too well last time I cleaned the inside of it. That's on me. So I'll pull out those screws and freshen them up. But this motor, even stock, he does get pretty hot. And this fan just doesn't move all that much of air. It does help, but I really hope that this little fan... Oh, no, that's a servo. I hope that this fan does a difference. Because in my brushless converted ones, I have a brushless converted NASCAR that does 55, and I have a brushless converted Mojave that does like 52, 53. And I put the rocket fans in there, and the rocket fans... they are great. They really, really move some air. They help keep those motors very, very cool. But since this guy is just still stock, and he might get a brushless conversion, I'm going to see how this new FuriTech Scorpion system works on the Mojave. And I might end up ordering another one for this guy. I don't have any FuriTech stuff, but everybody in the Grom pages on Facebook is talking about it. So I'm looking forward to trying them out. But for now, we're going to get the servo in, get the fan in, get the axles in. I'm really excited about checking out these tires. Now, these tires, they are the same diameter as the stock guys. Yeah, actually, they're just a hair taller. But they're quite a bit wider, so, and they're so soft, but they got a really nice foam in it from what I can feel, and they are vented. I don't know. Oh, there's the vent hole. So I'm actually looking forward to trying these out. I think these are going to be great. But you guys don't want to sit here and watch me turn all of these screws. I got to do all the basic stuff. You know, you've seen plenty of videos of people swapping out the axles. I do have to, I assume I have to oil fill these shocks. I'll open these up and take a look. But, oh, and we got 3 different spring levels. I didn't even notice that. So we got a black, a silver, and like a titanium. I don't know which one is the softest and which one is the firmest. So I'm going to have to do some research real quick on RC all-wheel drive forum. Or, not forum, but page. And I'll take a look, try to see which ones are supposed to be the firmest. Just looking at them, I think these silver ones are going to be yeah, they're the firmest. These black ones are probably the mid-length, and I bet these silver ones are the softest. So with the weight of the Grom, I know that they usually like the softest best. So let me look that up, and I'll start turning some screws here. And as soon as I get to a point that I might find something interesting for y'all, I'll let you know. Other than that, I ain't gonna bore y'all with all this install. All right, so just to confirm for everybody, yes, the black springs are the mid-level, the gray ones are the stronger ones, and the silver ones are the softer ones. I had somebody in one of my previous videos on the HR shocks that I installed on the Mojave Grom argue that I was wrong, but I looked it up and I was right. The HR shocks are set up the exact same as these, which makes me wonder, are these made by the same company as HR? I don't know. They do feel a little bit heavier than the HRs, so let's open them up and play with them. Nope, I was wrong. So that while they are similar to HR shocks, I mean, they're shocks. How many different ways can you make them? They're not the same as the HR shocks. HR's got a little bleeder screw up there. These do not, and these are a little bit more robust. A much bigger shoulder up there. This part down here is a little bit thicker. So these might prove to be an even better upgrade than the HRs. I'm really looking forward to getting this Mojave back together too. This is my favorite Grom right here. I tried this 6100 King Val motor and a couple other rigs, and I could never make it work right. The King Val 5400 is great. The 6100, junk. So I got the Fury Tech one on the way for this, but at least he can have his NDS servo back, and hopefully soon we'll have him back on the road. Woohoo! Alright, so as I had figured, they do put a little bit of fluid in them. I imagine that's just to keep the O-rings nice and lubricated and so you don't try to stroke them dry. After playing with the HR shocks, I found that the 50 weight had seemed to work best for the Mojave. The Mojave is a little bit heavier than this guy, but I'm going to continue on with the 50 weight. And I am going to go ahead and go with these, oh, not those, the softer springs. So I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, fill them up, bleed them. Well, yeah, I guess not everybody knows how to bleed shocks, and it's really not that hard. You basically just fill them up to almost the very top. You stroke it. Don't let the ring get all the way out of the fluid, but you do a couple slow strokes on it. Make sure that you don't have any more air bubbles coming up. Then with it fully extended, you just screw the cap not quite all the way on. So it's got a nice little O-ring, and it also seems to have a bladder inside. So they're not a full emulsion shock. They do have a little bit of bladder in them. But then what I like to do, and I'm not sure if this is the right way to do it, but I'll stroke it all the way back up. And then we see there's a little bit of fluid comes out there. And then I'll tighten that down. And then there we go. Now, I don't see them trying to push back out like they would with a normal bladder style. Okay, my mistake. That is not a bladder. That's just a seal up there. So yeah, these are more of an emulsion style shock. And just to make sure we got it all the way right, I put a little bit too much fluid in there. Get that cap on. I'll stroke it all the way up. All right, a little bit of fluid came out. Then we'll tighten it down. So it's not as important on your bleeding on an emulsion style shock as it is for a bladder style, because a bladder style it gives it a little bit of pressure in there, almost like a gas shock. Not quite the same, but similar enough. But there we go. And that's got a really nice movement on it. You don't feel any grinding. I like these. These are pretty nice. Can't wait to try these out. Well, let's get the rest of this thing together. And then continuing on with the installation here, taking a closer look at these CVDs from RC all-wheel drive, I like them. Your wheel studs are now metal, and they are captured in there, so you don't have the problem of breaking or stripping out the stock plastic ones. But it also comes with upgraded metal cups. So I'm still running the stock diffs on this one, so these should be a nice little upgrade. I'm going to go ahead and get all of that installed. So far, I'm really digging these RC all-wheel drive parts. I hope they perform as good as they look. We're going to find out today. Okay, stupid me. I didn't realize that these axle shafts that I ordered from RC all-wheel drive are for the Mojave. So I will save these for the Mojave, and I'm going to put these HR, these hot racing ones, back into the Typhon. But I am going to continue to put the rest of these metal output cups onto the Typhon, because in the Mojave I do have the upgraded Arrma diffs in that, so it's already got the upgraded cups on there. But since this one's still running the stock diffs and those cups are prone to failure, I'm just going to go ahead and put the cups in. And then when the Fury Tech stuff shows up, I will put these in the Mojave. So let me put back together my mistake here. And Viola, it's done. It turned out pretty good. I really like these tires. Tires are a perfect fit. Threw a couple RC all-wheel drive stickers on there to rep the brand. But everything fits in just how you'd expect. Nice and stock. Like I said, we don't have a servo saver on there, so I guess we'll get to see how that servo performs. But the suspension is very nice. Nice and plush. I did end up going back to the mid-rate springs, because after I pulled off the stock shocks and felt them in comparison to these with the silver springs, they were just a little bit too soft. But I think these mid-rate ones will work perfect. This fan, holy cow, it really seems to move some more air. Turn on the remote. That little fan moves a whole lot more air than the stock one. Not a whole lot louder. It is a little bit louder, but it's nice because it fits right in that case. Doesn't quite move as much air as the rocket fan, but it's really close. I like the way that you could use that stock mount, which protects it a whole lot more. The servo. Oh, sorry about that. Servo's got plenty of power, plenty of speed. I like that servo. And these tires, they do balloon a little bit, but I think that'll make this thing even faster. Boy, look at that. Yeah, that suspension is nice. Well, I guess nothing else to do now. We're going to crash into stuff. Let's go take it out for a little bash session. All right, I am on my little location construction area, so we'll play with it in the gravel, dirt, nastiness, and try it on the asphalt here, jump it a few times, see how the suspension absorbs, and see what this little guy can do. Like I said, this is one of my all-time favorite little RC cars, which I never expected. I just bought it when they came out because I thought it was going to be the hot ticket, and they really are. I've gotten a lot of good content out of these cars, but I really play with my whole Grom series of cars more than I play with any of my other RC stuff, which I never really expected. Oh wow, looks like I got lucky and got the tracking right out of the box. They do make a little bit of tire noise.
More like a real car. Handle's nice. Handle's real nice. Let's see how these shocks handle some jumps. Let's see if I can do a better job of hitting that ramp. Oh, it lands plush. Let's try that again. Tumble, tumble, tumble. Hey, and it lands on its feet. Let me see if I can do a little bit better job jumping there. Nice. It lands plush. Oh, it lands really nice. Speed seems about the same. It might be a half mile per hour quicker. Maybe a mile per hour quicker. Well, I guess that's going to be a good test for this servo to see how it stands up without having a servo saver on it. This little guy's doing well. Yeah, this has got, I don't know if it's the tires or the shocks that are giving it a nicer landing and better control in the air. But both of them together work excellent. I like it. Tumble, yay! Might help if I hit that dang ramp right. And you know, make sure to check out in the description of this video. I will have a link for my my code, which will save you 5% on your own RC all-wheel drive order. So you enter in the Dude RC, and you get 5% off your order. So check it out. Helps the channel out, helps yourself out. It's just good for everybody. Ah, the first tumble. I think we need to play with it in the dirt. Yeah, let's play with it in the dirt. And let's see how these little knobby tires doing this stuff. I kind of struggled out here last time I took it with the stock tires. Looks like I'm gonna struggle just a little bit with these, which is really more due to the scale of this little guy. It's a pretty rough surface for something so tiny. But I used to get rocks caught up in the stock wheels all the time, and I'd like to see if these have got that same problem of getting rocks caught up in them. These might be a little bit more suited for like indoor racing, like carpeted style racing. Although they do seem to do pretty well out here. Ah, boy, we'll spend the day walking after it. A little wheelie there. Oh, yeah, these tires actually hook quite a bit more than the stock Grom tires do. So I guess I gotta be a little bit more gentle with my steering inputs. Not turn it full lock when going at speed. like that. So it is a little bit more prone to traction roll with these tires. I think I kind of like these tires. I think I kind of like these tires a little bit more on road than at least this kind of surface. I bet they'd be really good in like sand or just normal loose dirt. This extremely rocky, gravelly terrain, they don't really hook up all that great. I bet I just got a rock caught in one of them. I mean, they hook up pretty good, but I think the stock tires do a little bit better on this style of surface. But these seem to do a little bit better on road, which has got me thinking that they'll probably do quite a bit better in like sand or like I said, loose dirt. I do like these shocks though. Golly, these shocks are great. And that servo has got plenty of accuracy and great speed. Yeah, I am getting some rocks caught up in it. But with the way that these little tires balloon out, you get a lot more aerial control on it. It's easier to keep the car flat with these tires when it's in the air than with the stockers. Of course, it helps if I could hit this ramp correctly. Footage. See if we can get some speed on this ramp. Yeah, keep getting one rock stuck up in there. Every time you see it getting stuck there for a quick second, that's all it is just a rock. Like here. Let's see if we can see what's happening. Well, crud. That's gonna prematurely end this video. It wasn't a rock getting stuck in the wheels. It's the motor is overheating. The motor is extremely hot. The reason the motor is extremely hot is that fan has stopped working. And I see that the fan has blown itself apart. I went over to pick up the car and it stunk like burned electronics. And it's not the motor, servo, all that works fine. It's just the motor's overheating, so it's starting to lock up. And it's just because this fan blew apart, which is a shame, because that thing was moving a whole lot more air. So, all in all, I do like the RC all-wheel drive parts. I like the servo, I like the shocks. The tires are, I don't know, I could take them or leave them. They're probably pretty good on carpet, and they're pretty good on the asphalt. Not that great on the gravel stuff. The fan, though, not a fan of that fan, because this car's got a couple hundred runs on the stock fan and bad bashes and never broke it. And you've seen what I just put this car through, and that fan is already broken apart. I don't know how well the camera, let's see here, it's kind of hard in the sunlight, but see, it's blown apart in there. So, all right, RC all-wheel drive, you guys need to do a little bit of work on this fan, you know, come up with a little bit more robust design. But everything else, I dig it. This servo, even with those wrecks, is nice and solid, nice and quiet. And these shocks These shocks are awesome. I love these shocks. I think I can put a little bit of more preload on the rear. Front seem about right, but yeah, a little bit more preload on the rear, and this thing will be set. So don't forget to check out the description where I'll give you the link for RC all-wheel drive with the discount code. And you know, I would definitely go for the servo. Definitely go for the shocks. Big upgrades. Tires, you know, if you're gonna race on like some dirt or sand or carpet, if you're carpet racing indoor, I bet these will be awesome because they are gooey. They're nice and sticky, lots of bite. Out on that surface, not so great. But I'm sure that's not what RC all-wheel drive had designed it for. But all right, guys, it's gonna be the end of the video, I guess, because I don't want to burn up this motor. And hope that you all enjoyed the video. I hope it was informative, and I hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. This is the Dude RC. Catch you on the next video.